Happy anniversary, Tim.
We
My
did
100
episodes. That's so many episodes.
Can you remember a time when we said, "Oh my God, we'll be done after like 50 episodes because maybe the pandemic will end and maybe we'll be doing our own thing." Maybe that would be the way to go.
Yep.
Oh, here
And
we are,
here we
100
are.
episodes later. But you know what? I'm happy we're here because I think we've had one hell of a run. It's over now. 100 episodes. We can call it quits. We can retire, right? That's
Yep.
it.
That's it. That's all anyone ever aspires to do, is to do 100 of anything, and then you can stop.
That's right. I mean, listen, if WWE can do like 4 or 5 years of their own WWE network just to sell it to Peacock and make a ton of money and not have to put out nearly as much content and still get away with it, we should be able to do the same thing. And that's what we did. We basically did 100 episodes of content, 95, and then we got sold off to Fightful Overbooked. And look at us now. We're rich.
Look at us now. I have luxurious furs covering my chair now. That's what you get when you get picked up by Fightful Overbooked. Luxurious furs.
Meanwhile, you can support our luxurious habits by donating a super chat or even a humper chat. Why not?
I require truffles.
That's right. We're here for truffles. We're here for wrestling, and it's been a good wrestling few days, Tim.
Disagree.
Well, come on. There was some good stuff. But while you're here, just hold on. Before we get into what was good and what was bad, toss us a thumbs up on this video. Because you know what? That is super helpful. It gets us into that all-seeing eye that is Google and YouTube. And your friends get to see us, and more of our pals get to see us. And drop a comment. If you're in the chat, welcome. It's good to see you. And subscribe to us here at Fightful Overbooked. Tim, what's up?
What's up? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. As far as whole ass shows being quality, I think Dynamite was like the only one. But there were some fun moments. I'll give you that. Some fun moments. Enough to get us through an hour of talking about, thankfully. Supplemented by how good Dynamite was.
It was very good, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot about AEW this week, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Graham saying, where are your other shows before over? I thought this was like number 3.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's a fair assessment. Well, if you go to youtube.com/Tim and Joel Pod, that's where our episodes before Overbooked are currently sitting. There's also a playlist. If you're here on Fightful Overbooked, there is a Tim and Joel Pod playlist that crosses from here on Overbooked to our other channel content. So there you go. Right now, everything that we do is on Overbooked, but here we are. This is episode actual 100. We have so much to talk about, and some of it even happened yesterday that I don't even think you know about.
The hell happened yesterday? Yesterday was Saturday.
Saturday. Today's Sunday.
Yeah, so what happens on Saturdays? I don't know. Shit happens on Saturdays.
So Warrior Wrestling is an indie out of Chicago. And Ember Moon, who is now Athena, she went back to her former ring name, had her first match, and she had a match against Thunder Rosa for the Warrior Wrestling Women's Championship. They went 30 minutes, and that was her first match back. That was the former Ember Moon, now Athena. That was her first match back since, I think they said October of 2021.
Hot damn.
Yes.
Man, cardio conditioning. God.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was a really fun match. And you know what? There's a spot in there. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to actually encourage everyone to go find it. There's a spot in there that sold me a ticket up and down the river 100 times over. It was really, really good stuff. So I do recommend going out of your way. Yeah, there was a heckler at one point and a bunch of people booed, but if people want to focus on that, forget. Don't focus on that.
Yeah.
I know that after the match, Thunder Rosa had a lot of things to say about people disrespecting the wrestlers, and she's absolutely right, but please do not let that take away from the 30 minutes that these two went, because it was real good. And I don't think people here, I mean, Tim, you're an avid follower of the National Wrestling Alliance, right?
Only insofar as to rip on Billy Corgan at every possible moment I get a chance.
Billy has a new NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, and he's always ready.
Is that a
GCW legend, Impact Digital Media Champion, one Matthew Cardona last night. Sorry for the spoilers, friends. If they really wanted you to know, they wouldn't have put it on a tape show. Matt Cardona wins the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, defeats Trevor Murdoch, shocks the world. Everyone's excited, right? Going through it.
He's living his
Oh,
best life out there, isn't he?
yes. By the way, going back to Warrior Wrestling, yes, Mike Santana. So Santana and Ortiz Santana took on
Yeah.
Speedball Mike Bailey, who is a Canadian boy that we all love and can now officially go back to performing in the United States. He and Santana had a hell of a match. Go out and just the Warrior show was really good, just top to bottom. There was some really good stuff, some not so great stuff, but overall, I would recommend the match. It was fun.
Oh, okay. That does sound
Yeah.
that's interesting. Belt collector Matt Cardona, apparently. Holy hell.
He is the true belt collector. It's going to be Matt Cardona versus Kenny Omega in a few years for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Matt Cardona is going to win, and he's just going to, you know, that there's that Ultimo Dragon photo where he has like the 9 titles around. Yeah, he's going to have that. That's what Cardona is trying to do. And
Just
right now,
dripping in gold.
Yeah, it'll be Jeff Jarrett for the NWA title versus Matt Cardona. That's the one. That's it. That's all I want in my life. But anyway, we got wrestling that you actually watched to talk about.
Yeah, some that I actually watched. Mostly.
Yes, and we'll talk about Nick Wayne in a minute. I'll smarten Tim up to Nick Wayne.
Who's the Nick Wayne?
Nick Wayne is a 16-year-old wrestler who was offered a contract. He was offered a contract last night with AEW by Darby Allin. So we'll talk about that. I don't think you're going to see Nick Wayne in AEW right away. I think it's more of a provisional contract. Yeah. I think it's the same as Brody Lee's son receiving a contract.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But we'll see. He's actively wrestling. Nick Wayne is, so he could show up on TV. I don't know. It's also not up to us to decide whether or not he should be wrestling.
Matt Hardy, my boy.
Matt and Jeff Hardy were wrestling when they were under the age of 18. So anything could happen.
Yeah. How'd that turn out for them? I mean,
they're still going, pal.
Good. I don't know. They seem odd.
They're still going, and we're going to talk about that. But let's. What do you want? Do you want to start with SmackDown? We can go through that real quick. We don't have to go too far. Really, just hit the top and the bottom.
We gotta hit everything. So much happened.
You want to talk about? Well, you want to talk about Goldberg for a hot ass minute?
That Goldberg interview where, there's no other Goldberg but this Goldberg. So don't even talk about. You talk about joking about Goldberg. Don't talk about Goldberg. I'm the Goldberg.
He's Fight Club. First rule of Goldberg: don't talk about Goldberg.
More or less, like it was. I don't know. I didn't know Michael Cole had friends with Goldberg. That seemed odd to me. I was like, "What? Have you two interacted ever?" Like, I don't remember.
Normally, when you say something like "I like you," or whatever Goldberg said,
it was like, "I like you like a brother" or something. It was like way too much for. Oh, I didn't know you two have ever been in a room together that wasn't like you in the ring and you at commentary.
But doesn't that also make the assumption that Goldberg was then going to do something mean to Michael Cole or say something mean to Michael Cole?
Yeah, like it's not the type of thing that you'd say that way. I don't know. I'm not sure that Goldberg's the best at interpersonal relationships.
He's got his son. That's all he needs.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't know how to people.
Exactly. Either way, there was that. Then there was the Roman Reigns segment, which I thought was a million times better, especially with Paul Heyman there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What do you think of Paul Heyman being like, I appreciate the shout out, but I'm not the superstar, or I'm not the legend that people think I am, or whatever it was. It was good stuff.
Always humble Paul Heyman.
Yeah, that's right. We have always ready Matt Cardona and always humble Paul Heyman.
I don't know. Like one's a joke, but Matt Cardona seems very ready to win whatever title you're willing to give him.
Maybe those two can team up because Paul Heyman only wants to be with the guy with all the titles, and who has all the titles right now?
Matt Cardona to WWE.
Matt Cardona
confirmed
versus
Matt
Cardona versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. That's the match at WrestleMania. Let's do it. Anyway, so I like how he's like, I'm gonna Goldberg, and I had to think for a minute. I was like, how do you Goldberg? Oh, you hit his head against a wall before he comes out. I get it. Okay. Is that what we're doing?
I think he just means the match will be very short and to the point, and he will be very tuckered out after.
Oh, I guess that makes more sense. There we go.
I do not have a tribal tattoo. Don't you put that on me.
Tim is Harland. He is not Roman. We've been through this.
I was under 10 in the 90s. There are no tribal tattoos. It's just that's not tribal. It's just a little background. There's a fox and there's some little birdies.
You got a puka shell necklace while you're at it?
No, I don't.
Could you
think
get one
so.
for the next show?
I don't even know. I haven't seen a shell in a decade.
It's true. You got to go back out east. Anyway, the show opens with what do they open with? Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville's like, hey, you know what?
We got to address that because we did this with Brock Lesnar and now we have to revisit that.
So $100,000 fine for one Ronda Rousey for putting her hands on an official, and out comes Adam Pearce, and he's like, no. And he's checking his email, like
he reads from a mile away.
I love this. This is Adam Pearce checking his email. You got to do. It's very strange.
Famed reader Adam Pearce
got his glasses on too.
Yeah, he's doing
anyway.
His best. Words are hard.
He says the emails with Mr. McMahon himself, and you're abusing your power, and so you cannot be a WWE official who abuses power. And yes, if you disobey Mr. McMahon, your job will be in serious jeopardy.
Shout out to Vince McMahon taking the time out of his day to spend it with Austin Theory, but not to come do anything with this.
Can you blame him? Where were they? I don't even know where they were this week, but wherever they were, it wasn't good enough.
It was New Orleans. Yeah, it was.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have been nice. You think? I don't know. Crime's up.
Either way,
it's rough.
Not Sonya. Naomi comes out, and they do a whole interaction. Blah blah blah. They do the trash talking, and then slap.
No one said I couldn't touch you. Slap. And that's, I was like, okay, sure. I mean, you're taking a risk, but that's fine. There's no way this is gonna blow up in your face down the road.
No Pat McAfee, by the way, on SmackDown.
No, just notable absence. Corey Graves, not equivalent.
Pat McAfee covering them Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be off TV this past week. He'll be off TV next week. That's fun.
Oh, because they taped, yeah.
Because they taped. So they're going to be like, oh, Pat McAfee has a Super Bowl hangover. So there you go. Anyway, Los Lotharios win a match versus the New Day because we got to do the thing.
They have a kiss cam now.
Yes. Who was the plant? Have we figured it out?
I haven't because I don't care. But yeah, obvious plant because it's the only way to do that spot. Please only always be an all.
Thought it was one of their wives at the beginning, but then I went and nope, it's not. I don't know who it is. Just a plant. Just someone that they brought in. A seat filler.
Someone kissable.
Yeah, that's true. Good for them. I do like the finish in that it wasn't a weird like distraction roll up thing. They did a double stack. It was a powerful double stack. But again, we're just 50-50 again. 50.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, poor Biggie.
Yeah. Really, it's funny because most of this show you can then scroll through and be like, oh, okay, this happened, but we did it last week. Xia Li will probably have her first match on the main roster in 2 weeks
against
on
Natalya.
The 25th against Natalya, because she certainly didn't have it this past week or at the tapings. So we got that going for us. Natty wins a dungeon match. Good for her. And then Xia Li comes out and looks angry.
Yeah, this match didn't turn into anything that I was hoping it to turn into. Like, it was very forgettable. I was just like, oh, okay. At least they gave him time. They gave him a little bit more time this week.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Aaliyah for not going with the 316 gimmick that we pitched her.
It's a bummer.
Anyway, what I really, really, really liked the Johnny Knoxville in the LA store.
Yeah,
that's stupid. It was so, and he's wearing the US championship because he's defending it more than the current US champion is. And he's getting more dubs than the current US champion. Good for Johnny Knoxville. He's the champion of our hearts.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess they're still promoting the movie.
Yeah.
Just a perpetual loser, like just owning it, just like
she got to get that on a shirt. That's great.
Yeah.
It was a very fun segment, and you get the wood chipper with the Sammy Forever shirts. I like the Sammy Forever shirts, by the way. I'm really hoping that they sell them and that they donate the portions to Sammy for Syria. I think that would be a tremendous opportunity for them. If they don't do it, well, what are we doing here? And then they do
Jackass Forever.
That's right. Sami Zayn Forever. What do you think of the Zayn promo? What do you think of that with Boogs and Nakamura and Sami Zayn and NPR? What do you think?
My brain shut off.
Yeah.
I like Sami Zayn. I don't know what you know what I liked Shinsuke doing his thing. and then I stopped paying attention.
It was really, really bad. In fact, it was one of our misses from the hits and misses video over on Fightful Overbooked. So go check that out. Regardless, why did Boogs get electrocuted by a microphone? What
I
was
don't know.
that?
Like I don't. It'd be pretty hard to do that. Like you can get little zaps. You've been shocked. You know what getting shocked by a microphone feels like.
I do. Not that never that bad.
I don't know how you could. There's no way you could make a dynamic microphone shock you in a way that would be more than like mildly unpleasant. Like they're not powered.
Boogs sells it as if he just got shot in the face or in the hand.
I know.
Anyway, all this just to get to Sammy versus Nakamura on SmackDown next week, and WWE has already spoiled the results of the match for themselves and openly admitted that close your ears right now if you don't want the spoiler.
We're doing it? Are we doing it?
And a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Shinsuke Nakamura lost the championship, and Sami Zayn is the new Intercontinental Champion. You can remove your hands from your ears now, or have fast forward. Either way, Sami winning the Intercontinental Championship is, which now I'm like, remove your ears, and I just completely spoiled it.
I mean, I don't know. You also said to fast forward. We're doing this live. Like,
this is more for the audio
sense.
pals. Who cares? No one's really watching SmackDown for the moments. Listen, I think that Sami with the Intercontinental Championship is the right move to make. I think that they are going to do things to make it more not fun. He's gonna defend the damn title. That's really what it is.
He'll actually wrestle, which I don't think that's Nakamura's fault. Like he got hurt for a little bit, and then it's just like I don't know.
He's in and out. That's all. And they can do Sami versus Johnny Knoxville for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, or they can just have Sami drop the title in 2 weeks to Madcap Moss.
Stop. Why are you this way?
I will never stop. Oh, Happy Corbin, Cesaro don't care. Cesaro lost the match. Are you shocked? I was shocked. I was so shocked that Cesaro lost that match.
Yeah, Kelsey, please.
The undefeated Corbin go to hits and misses.
What's up with this? Why are they doing bullshit. That?
Stop it. It's not a real thing.
Because I noticed on commentary they said that he wins matches, and I was like, what? No, he doesn't.
Okay, so let's just dive into this real quick. Since going back to being Happy Corbin after SummerSlam in singles competition, he is currently undefeated.
Oh, so the only matches that actually count in WWE. Got it. Understood.
Do you know how many matches those have been?
3 at most.
That's 3 is the number. You edited the hits and misses, so you know.
Hell yeah. I skipped over. I only look for the start and end of you guys' conversations. I'm a busy man.
So do the people watching.
I'm a busy man.
And then in terms of tag competition, 2 weeks ago, Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin lost a match to the New Day, or as they are now known, Big E and Kofi Kingston. So that is a thing. Anyway, yeah. Let's move on.
Oh, but we had the spot. We had the sword spot. Wasn't that so funny?
I mean, I kind of laughed.
Wasn't that man pretending to be a doctor very funny? He was just like, I'll have to check your vision. It's like, okay.
To drop your pants, we'll check your vision.
Yeah, like he seemed like a real questionable doctor.
It's WWE. What do you expect?
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Loved it.
Let's move on.
And then I don't know. No, we had Drew McIntyre threatening to use the sword again, and they're doing it in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
If he wants to get away with it,
it's the time. I've said this before. Of all the places and all the times, this is the time for that sword to come into play.
Yeah.
Come on, Drew.
R.I.P. Madcap Moss. He might save us from that IC title run.
He will never be stopped.
Invincible
Never.
Madcap Moss.
You can put that head on a damn sword. You can pike it, and he'll still win that damn Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, Corbin will win it for him. He'll be like, I'll do this for my buddy Madcap Moss. And then he'll like somberly, he'll whoop some guy's ass, well, Sammy's ass, and then just somberly lay the impaled head of Madcap Moss over Sammy's body, and then count the 3, just sadly with the ref. There you go.
It'll be sword on a bike, and he'll be so upset. And then Corbin will take the mouth and just move it with his finger and tell the stupid joke. So someone just tuned into this and was like, nope, this is too much for me on a Sunday morning. We're done. Let's get to the main event. Charlotte versus Naomi was a very good match. I was expecting the stupid non-finish DQ whatever, because we're getting the match I told you we would get, which was the tag match. And they're doing it in Saudi Arabia. Sure, we'll get to that in a second. But for the singles match, Charlotte and Naomi, really good match. These two were able to match up with each other and actually really get it done and have a fun
it was
match.
Great. The highlight of the entire show for sure.
Yes,
Not
and they keep doing
much,
this.
but like it was very good.
And for once, they gave us a clean finish. They ended the match. They didn't just do a weird DQ non-finish BS thing. And we let the ending, the post-match, lead into what's coming up next. Yeah. And yeah, so there we go. And this is a good point from Evan. Like, you had to watch it again because the first version of the first viewing expected a crappy DQ finish. And that's what I said. I'm like, they're great. WWE is great at getting you to enjoy a main event so much until they give you the DQ finish and say, well, then frick you. Like, that's it.
Yeah, like you're just really like, okay, how are they going to screw this up? And you're just sitting there waiting. He was like, oh, here it go. Oh, here. Oh. Yeah. And that's it. You're counting on it being terrible.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Through the benefit of hindsight, you can see that the match was very good. They had a good, clean-cut winner. Naomi didn't necessarily need to win, but she certainly had a lot to give in elevating herself in that match.
She showed out, and if they don't recognize that and see like a very like imminent title run, I don't know what they want out of her.
I don't think
she's also fun. See, which is horseshit. She's so good on the mic too. Like I've been enjoying her cutting promos, and I didn't think much of Naomi for a long time. I knew everyone was high on her on social media, etc. But now, like, I don't know, right now she feels good. Like she's great in ring. She's cutting on the mic. Like she does feel pretty edgy. Like she's been doing these segments, doing her best work with what is a weird storyline. Like I don't know. I feel like she deserves that push.
I don't disagree with you. I somewhat agree with you. I don't think that they're going to give her a title run.
No, maybe, I don't think so either. But that's not a good reason.
Especially like if I had to guess, because we're now doing a tag match at Saudi Arabia. It's going to be Ronda and Naomi, which, by the way, further proof that Naomi is very good. She's getting Ronda cheered.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. That is what you need from WWE side of things. To get Ronda cheered is to put the two evilest women on the roster versus the two, well, one of the most over women, and then pair Ronda Rousey and make them look good. So you've got Charlotte and Sonya Deville on one side at Elimination Chamber, and then you've got Naomi and Ronda on the other side. Now, what I think will happen eventually is going to be Ronda wins that title. She's going to win that SmackDown Women's title. She'll carry that title for another year going into Naomi's going to challenge, but Naomi's not going to beat Ronda. If anything, Naomi will be the first challenger for Ronda as a thank you. And it'll just be like the Natty versus Ronda stuff where they're besties, but they're having a match. Same thing. It'll be a similar title run to the one she had after WrestleMania, after Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, whenever she won it. I forget.
Oh yeah. I can't take a year of tippy tap punches and bad judo throws.
You might get a little interruption along the way, but if I had to guess, they're going to keep it for a year so they can get to Becky versus Ronda in Hollywood.
Yeah.
For title. That'll be the title match. Yeah. But let's not get in the way of what's going on now, because that was a very good match. And the Elimination Chamber tag will probably be a lot of fun.
Maybe.
A lot of fun.
You'll have to tell me after.
Yeah, that's right. We will not be doing a watch along. Probably won't talk much about it because unfortunately it's a Saudi show and they over deliver these days, but that's about it. By the way, super chats, you can send them to us to support us here on episode 100 of Tim and Joel Pod, or you can donate a Humper chat too. We take those too. And toss us a thumbs up if you have.
So they're doing that at, yeah, that's Scott's pointing out, Sonya. I don't love that. Whatever.
I get it. And I understand people's concerns. At the same time,
I wouldn't be concerned. I honestly don't be concerned because, like, WWE's bringing people in. They're staying within their camp. It's
exactly.
It is what it is. It's
exactly.
They're not bound by their wretched laws. Just the people under their foot.
Thank you. That's exactly what it is. And I think people who are saying I'm scared, I'm nervous, they're going to be very well protected. They're going to be
fine.
Like, don't be worried.
Keep in mind, so in Saudi Arabia, there are tons of Americans living and working there who get to live and work as Americans.
Yes.
They have their own gated communities, and the laws of the land don't really apply to them. So don't worry about that. It's selectively applied.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, that's going to be Saudi. There's a lot of women's matches on that card too. That is impressive. Like,
sure. They're influencing
the
world, Joel Pearl. They're influencing the world.
I was trying to get that out of you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Listen, the show last time and the Crown Jewel show was really good. And this is the unfortunate reality of the Saudi shows now. No one wants to watch them, but then everyone hears afterwards that they were actually really good matches.
Yep. Well, that's nice. They can keep doing that. They're gonna, whatever. They're not. It's not like they're going to turn down $50 million.
I don't think most people would. Oh man, yeah. You missed about 97 episodes since Fightful Overbooked move. If you want old episodes, timandjoelpod.com. Okay, let's talk about Dynamite. You want to talk about Dynamite? Let's talk about Dynamite.
Yeah, great show. Good show. Hell, poop, yeah, Dynamite. It was good.
MJF comes out to the ring being carried by his minions, making out with Gabby Ortiz and with his real life girlfriend. And then you got the rest of the cavalry coming out. FTR comes out. They got their champagne. Wardlow comes out. He's Wardlow. And you've got...
He doesn't get entrance music. It was that was the whole thing.
That's the whole point.
Poor Wardlow.
And then you've got noted chair pervert Sean Spears.
Yeah.
My favorite.
You know what? Sean Spears is over now. It took a long time, but he figured it out. Noted chair pervert Sean Spears is his gimmick.
Just gotta be goofy.
Well, that's the thing. You can't be the chairman and have that be interesting. You gotta be a chair pervert. Because that's the thing. In wrestling, you can take a regular characteristic and that's fine, but you got to amp it up to 11 or else it's not going to get over. This is a caricature of an actual human being. So if you're a guy who's like, yeah, I appreciate a good chair, no one cares. That's nothing interesting. If you're like, I'm a raging chair pervert, different story. That's interesting.
I'll tell you the dream match in a few minutes when we get there.
All right.
Either way, MJF comes out and cuts one hell of a promo telling him that he is the best wrestler, not just on the planet. He is the best wrestler ever. He is better than
out
the best
comes
in
Chris
the world.
Statlander.
Not so much.
No.
Not so much. Says he beat CM Punk twice in Chicago. Great. I'm a fan of that. And he's like, I like this part where everyone was saying for the last few days, he whispered something. MJF whispered something to CM Punk. What did he whisper? And Punk is like, MJF was like, I'm overcome with emotion. And I someone I grew up idolizing, I leaned over and I whispered to him, you suck. And I was dying. Very good
stuff. I appreciated the cutouts setting the scene as well. Like just so over the top.
Weird. Yeah, very, very fun, very weird. Wardlow meanwhile can't get anything out of his mouth. The thank you is for Sean Spears, noted chair perverts. If you didn't warm me up, I didn't know what I could have done. Oh, good stuff. Anyway, they've got the new t-shirt online. Anything before Punk comes out that you want to add?
No, it's a fire segment. Exactly what I wanted. Glad they opened the show with it.
Yeah. Darby and Sting come out with baseball bats, give everyone except for Tony Schiavone one because Tony deserves to be protected too, you know. We must protect Tony Schiavone.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like give the people around him a bat though, because he looks like a man with soft wrists, and I feel like the impact of the bat on someone else would just hurt him a lot.
He covers baseball.
Yeah, but does he play baseball?
We don't know. We have to ask Tony Schiavone.
I guess someone find out.
We're gonna have to do it. Punk is like, I want a rematch. MJF is like, absolutely not. And then they're begging for a rematch. So they're like, no, you know what? We'll have a tag match instead, which I appreciate this. It's completely different. They do they call it on the fly, which they never do on Dynamite. Normally all the matches are already like preset. They don't do a challenge in the ring immediately. Instead, they're like, hey, FTR versus Punk and someone of your choosing. And immediately the internet, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be
Oh,
Samoa
it's
Joe."
a third. Yeah, and I was like, oh, maybe, could be. Like I bought into it. I was like, maybe they got another one because I
Problem is,
didn't think they were gonna do like
so the smartest thing the Punk did was then set expectations by trolling, because Punk immediately was like, "Hey
Hey
Danhausen, you busy?
Samoa, yeah.
Hey Samoa Joe, are you in the country?" And I'm like, this is perfect because it gets people both talking and understanding. Though, like those who know, those
And
who don't are just getting
stuff,
excited.
you get that buzz on social media, they might tune in, right? Like that,
Yes.
So
Exactly. Oh, by the way, JJ, thank you for the super chat saying congratulations
yay.
on 100 episodes. You're both excellent and great people. Here's to another 100. No,
Aw.
we're not going to do another 100. We decided that since we've moved our talent to Overbooked, we can coast from now on.
Yeah.
We can just replay the first 100 episodes and people will probably enjoy it.
Syndication, baby.
Yes, we're here for syndication on Overbooked.
This isn't about topical at all.
Wait a minute, why are they talking about Seth Rollins versus Big E? What is this? It's like 2 years ago.
No. Yeah, we're just gonna zero in on individual body parts of various wrestling adjacent personalities from now on. So we started with Tony Schiavone's wrists. What else?
Cesaro's nipples.
Cesaro's nipples.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gotta do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
We will. Anyway, so then we get to the backstage and they're doing Andrade with Sting and Darby. I still love this. This is so stupid.
Good. Oh my god, Andrade's found his niche too. That's what's so satisfying about some of this is just like the guys who like weren't getting it in WWE and are finding their footing in AEW and it's really coming together. Like I just love to see it so much because like Andrade was like a non-entity to me in WWE.
But remember also when Andrade debuted in AEW, he was a non-entity there.
I know. No. And that's the thing. Like in AEW, you watch it happen in real time. It happened with Miro too, who was just like, oh, okay. But it slowly evolved and they're given the time on TV to work out their character and then find it and then they've got it. Like,
yeah. It's a very different process creatively as well. Whereas in WWE, you really are answering to one person.
Yeah.
In AEW, you are ultimately answering to Tony. You are, but there are other people along the way who will listen out and be a part of the conversation and try to make your character, shine in different ways. There was an article that came out the other day about Peter Avalon and discussing why the librarian character didn't achieve certain popularity. It wasn't, and he was like, I don't think it failed. And I get that. I get what Peter's saying. But at the same time,
about that.
well, what is failure? What is that? And is it because he didn't win a bunch of matches because it wasn't featured on TV? It like what
no, here's the thing.
Failure in wrestling?
Here's my opinion. He had another gimmick in the Wingmen that was very good. And that had legs and it just didn't get the time that it needed to get over. And that has nothing to do with him and the people around him. I think they did a great job. I enjoyed it. And I don't even watch like Dark or whatever the Dark Elevation. Like I don't watch any of that stuff. And I still knew about this gimmick and I enjoyed it. And I thought that it had like strength. And that's a booking decision. That's not on them. So like that's going to happen in any company because there's so many people on this roster. But like,
well, the booking decision that I'm talking about is more that he wasn't featured on TV.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
with character tweaking or idea building, you can be featured on TV. Mm-hmm. That is a thing that AEW can bring to your table. Whereas Andrade, it took a little while for them to figure out what the hell Andrade El Idolo is to bring him onto TV more regularly. That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
And that's what we're getting now. So Andrade comes out and he's like, I still want I want to take your kid, basically.
Yeah. Like, give me your boy.
There's a movie that's clearly based off of. And he finally meets Sting and he's like, give me your child. And Sting's like, he's not my boy. And Darby's just like, I got bigger things to work on. And that is being TNT champion.
Yeah. Like, okay. Well, I also want that because you want it.
Exactly. Anyway, let's move on. They do Wardlow versus the Blade. I don't have much to say about this just because it was one of those random.
Yeah, it was just I was like, what? Why is this match happening? And it was clear like it's just an enhancement to get Wardlow, to keep bigging him up. So
one thing I don't like is that are we waiting too long for the Wardlow turn? Are we, because this week
it's getting a bit it's treading water a little bit, which I don't love. I'm glad that they delayed it. I didn't want it to. it already interfered a lot with the MJF and CM Punk stuff. So I'm glad that they didn't do it during that or before that. I'm ready for it any moment now, though. Like it can happen now. So
Yeah. I agree. We got to stop treading water. We got to start moving towards whatever it is, or put it so far in the back burner that we just don't think about it.
yeah, exactly.
Because that would work. And again, that speaks to the depth that AEW has in their storytelling, that they can pull stuff out and put stuff back in and make you, think about different stories coming back. For instance, they're going to be, I think, in Nashville this coming week, and Miro lives in Nashville. We haven't seen Miro yet. I think there's a chance that we see him show up in Nashville and start whatever's next.
Yeah, hope so. Really hope so.
Yeah. I know we would shit on it, but the Inner Circle team meeting wasn't that bad.
No, because it wasn't like it didn't take too long, and Santana Ortiz are so good.
Santana was really good. Yeah. Santana, who's currently going on a singles run outside of AEW and having just great matches and also just cutting great promos. I love it. I don't have much to add about it other than the stupid attendance is mandatory. Like, it's Jericho is so full of himself that he's turning himself heel again, and Santana and Ortiz are just like, hey, what the hell? Yeah. You have nothing to add to this.
No, like that's all it is. Like, it's just Jericho is, I mean, I don't know. Jericho's a better heel because he's a douchebag. So just having him like try to insert all of these corny ass lines that he's clearly been thinking about for a full week. Like he's trying to find the right time. He's one of those people who, like, if you're talking to him, he's not listening to you. He's just waiting for the next opportunity to talk. Like, that's what is happening. And it's so like, yeah, you guys need to get the hell away from this guy. So I like that that's the direction it's going. I like Sammy being like, mommy and daddy are fighting. Choose. It's like, yeah. Okay.
Eddie referencing Santana. You remind me of my friend Eddie Guerrero. And I'm like, next you'll tell me that your pal Sammy reminds you of your pal Art Barr. Like, what? Come on, shut up. Just don't do this, Jericho. It's whatever. It is what it is. If it's gonna get heat, fine. That's cool. I do like how he's like, hey, Hager, do you have LAX's phone number? Do you have Hernandez and Homicide's number? That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sammy quits again, says, hey, get your shit together. I'm out. There you go.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Why is Sammy still wearing 2 belts?
That's so obnoxious. I find it so irritating. It's like, dude, I don't even know why there are 2 belts. Like, it was 2 weeks. This is so dumb.
Very confused. It's you won. You're the champion. You don't need the 2 belts unless you're gonna, like, you know what you do? You give one to a kid in the crowd. That's it. And just be like, here you go, kid. You deserve it, or whatever it is. It's just strange. Oh man, good stuff. And then we get to the Bucks and Adam Cole ambushing Rocky Romero and Trent. I was thinking of something else. Yeah, so there you go. Oh, except for Switchblade Jay White comes out and beats up.
I thought that was good because I talked about this and we talked about it being Jay White. And I was like, yes. Impact Wrestling star Jay White, the only way that I know him. But it's also like,
shout out to the guy 2 weeks ago who tried to roast you in the comments, being like, I take a big offense to thinking Jay White's not a big acquisition.
I was like, because he's been in the States for the 6 months, and like, again, I'll say it again, it's not that like I don't think they're big, it's just that I personally don't know anything about New Japan. Like, I just don't watch it. So for me, no, it's not interesting. So that's fine. Like, and it was for the AEW fans, but like the way this worked out, cool. And like you saw Tony Khan admit after he had misused his own words because he just, things got to talking, and then he's like, oh, I had to figure that out. And I was like, yeah, because I had commented that something he tweeted made no sense.
That's a common occurrence with Tony, though.
How does that? Yeah. And I was like, anyway, I was like, the timeline doesn't work, but then he explained it, and I was like, see, okay, that makes sense now. I thought this was the right way to debut Jay White. Like, subtle, like, just his back shows up on screen with a little beatdown. You knew that wasn't like the big reveal, which I was like, good. So there's still something coming. This is a nice little insert. Cool. Excited for him to be around.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Jay White's going to come in and have excellent matches. We
Yeah.
know that. Like, there's no questions asked. I just don't think that the name was going to evoke as much excitement as what we would see
No, because
next.
he's an Impact Wrestling star.
Someone's going to come for your head. I love it. What has he been? New Japan Strong? Noted night pervert Jay White has made his name in AEW, but like I said, it wasn't as impactful as the Face of the Revolution qualifying match. Isaiah Cassidy takes on Limitless Keith Lee. Yeah. So Keith Lee is all elite.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't get to rap his own theme.
So apparently the turnaround was great, and also around the time when Keith was getting married. So Ruckus, someone had contacted Ruckus about doing it, or Keith, and yada yada conversations were had, and they're like, we'll do it down the line. They just wanted to.
I believe so. And if honestly, like his one in NXT slapped, if Ruckus is producing it, this is going to be on another level. Like,
yeah, exactly. And did a good job. And it was a really fun and really good match. I've said what I've said about Keith Lee before. I like Keith Lee the wrestler.
yes.
I like Keith Lee the character. Keith Lee, when he was stuck at home with long COVID and couldn't talk about it, but decided to vague tweet about it.
So much tweeting.
I don't like vague tweeting.
No,
that shit turns me off.
I don't know. I feel like Keith Lee is a very odd person, but I don't need to. I don't care. I'm not friends with him. I love him on TV. I love him in the ring. That Beal was incredible. Shout out to Isaiah Cassidy for selling the hell out of that. That guy got air.
Yeah, he went. And again, this does not take away from my enjoyment of the match. And I'm very much looking forward to Keith Lee making an impact, because I know that's Tim's favorite place to go in AEW. So moving forward, Keith Lee in the Face of the Revolution ladder match.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I'm excited for that. I still think there's going to be one more surprise entrant for that match. And if it's not Swerve, I'll be shocked. Cassidy got yeeted.
Yeah, I feel like Swerve's got so many options. Like
he also showed up at that show where Nick Wayne was offered an AEW contract by Darby Allin. Normally we don't do that at the same time. Yeah,
wow, it's dead air because we both decided to take. Hey, you know what? It's a celebratory drink for 100 episodes.
There you go. Keith, by the way, because we're in Nashville, let's have Keith Lee versus Miro. Or at least let's set that up.
That's too soon. Yeah, let's set it up in Nashville. That's so fast. I want to see that, get a little bit of anticipation.
Do they meet in the match, in the ladder match? Could you imagine those two going?
That would be fun. That would be great. Yeah. If that's how they first encounter each other, I'd be totally okay with that. Oh, hell, there's too many people in AEW, like, and too many potential people. Like, this is so. Like, and I don't want them to do this.
Everybody, Tim.
You can't
sign. You actually can't. That's
ridiculous. True. Like they've got a very deep roster, a lot of very strong people. People can't win all the time. I'm very appreciative of Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, like, playing the roles that they're playing, because it could have been like so off the rails weird, but like, it's good. Everything so far is good. I'm cautiously optimistic. Ready to get my heart broken, but we'll see.
Matt Hardy leaves in the middle of the match, just like his brother allegedly did when he left WWE.
Erratic behavior in commentary. It was just like, oh my God. Like,
loved it. It's a Bible on a pole match. Either way, I like that this is a way to maybe get closer to doing Private Party versus Matt and a certain brother of Matt's. I think that would be nice, but we got to get there first. Jeff Hardy's not out of the non-compete zone until the 17th, which is a Thursday. So the earliest he could show up is March 23rd. Sorry, March 17th is the, or 16th is the, is it 16th or is it 9th?
I don't know, bro.
Oh no, it's the 9th. So the earliest he could show up is the 16th of March. My bad. Anyway, let's move on. Jon Moxley is the mystery tag partner for CM Punk,
which is like, yeah, that works. Like, I mean, that's like a dream lineup, and it really works for the Danielson pairing. So
yeah, and again, I think we got to the point where everyone was like, Oh, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I forgot about Moxley because again, you talk about the depth of a roster, you forget about
You
certain
forget
people
about
who are
John Moxley.
right under your nose, and you're like, because right now Mox and Daniel Bryan, like, bro, oh my god, I did it again. The
Brad
Americanson Dragonson did Bryanson Danielson.
Danielson. Yes.
Yes. Anyway, Danielson and Mox are currently in their shit, and you don't see Danielson. Therefore, you immediately assume that there's going to be no Mox.
Yeah.
But instead, we cross it over, and it's Punk and Moxley teaming up against FTR.
Yeah.
In
Which
a
really
very
works
good
for
match.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, great match. A lot, very like Southern influence type of gimmick. A lot of Southern wrestling in there, which you would expect from FTR. What do you expect? Either way, a lot of fun, a lot of crying babies, and
Don't you talk about my boy. Hold on, turn my mic down a little bit so they get background.
That's all right.
I'm talking to the mic a little bit closer.
You'll do the Joe Rogan on NPR.
Joe Rogan on NPR. I do a lot of DMT.
Tully coming into the ring and throwing his coat at Punk, by the way, was high comedy for me, especially because he does it like twice, and Punk's just sitting there with a stupid jacket on his head. Little shit like that. It was a good match, a really fun match. I like it when a fight feels like a fight. I'm not here for a pristine, 10 out of 10. Everyone hits their spots perfectly. Let it be Mid-South style. Let it have a little bit of sloppiness and some potatoes in there. Let's get it there. It's a good stew.
Throw them potatoes. Yeah, it was good.
All about it. Dax and Cash having a good time. They don't need to be vying for the tag titles while they are doing all this stuff for MJF.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. AQA, the former Zeta Ramir, makes her debut in
and
AEW.
What a debut!
And what a debut. Gets herself signed afterwards, too.
Rightfully so. Here's the thing that they don't have a ton of, well, they do, but like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm fine with them signing as many women as they can get their hands on. Going
into the match, when Tony made the announcement that there would be AQA versus Jade Cargill, I was critical of the move because I bring this up all the time. AEW's women's division is pretty deep if you give them the opportunity to go out and be deep. But instead, we haven't seen that with the women's division yet. We see a lot of them on Dark and Dark Elevation, but like you said, you're not watching Dark and Elevation. I'm not always watching the whole show. I'll watch bits and pieces, and it's usually in the background. I want to see a lot more of these women who are being brought in and maybe have a little bit of understanding with the crowd. I want to see them brought in and maybe built up, even in a defeat from Jade Cargill.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they're working on it. It's much better than it was because we were ripping on it weekly for a while because it was bad. There is something to be said about like the TV readiness of some of them, like, and you're seeing it play out with some people who are getting more time and they're trying lots of stuff, and we'll get to that when we get to Rampage. But like there's something to be said about that, and I think it's come a long ways, so it's good to see that. Jade's a star. Like, I'm already very into that, and AQA just did a damn good job. That shooting star press is badass.
Yeah, the match was really good. Both women showed out. AQA was definitely there to earn her spot and did, and I can't deny that she's a great wrestler. And Jade continues to grow and continues to turn heads.
Yeah,
Jade's not the wrestler that your old ass sees after watching for 20 years. Jade is the wrestler that your partner, who never watches wrestling but decides to come and watch it for a night with you, says, "Oh, who's that bitch?"
Yeah, so that she tweeted that, eh?
Like, that's right, she did.
She tweeted that exact same thing. She's like, "I ain't here for you. I'm here for your wife." Like,
that's fine by me. She has that charisma and she has that look, and she looks different from most wrestlers out there, and that alone gets you over. Can she get better in the ring? Absolutely.
Yes,
anyone can get better in the ring.
She's also gotten better in the ring in very short order. So, and like that pump kick when it comes off right, which is partially dance partner, like, just looks badass. So
yeah, exactly. She's growing. And when you see that growth, that is a positive sign. There is no regression. So we'll get there. And AQA got herself a contract. She is now officially with AEW. Looking forward to seeing what they do with her. And you know what? I've said it here. I've said it other places. Being on Dark and being on Elevation is not a demotion. We've seen Thunder Rosa make appearances on both. We've seen Adam Cole make appearances on both. We've seen Bryan Danielson kind of make appearances on
Kind
both.
of.
Just because you're on a different show doesn't mean, just because you're not on TNT or TBS doesn't mean you're not part of the show.
Yep.
That's just the way it is. So there
And
we
that's
go.
the thing, you got to have people on the bench, right? Like
Yeah.
that's one thing that I did appreciate with like Attitude Era and like to a lesser extent like the Ruthless Aggression WWE. They had a big roster. They rotated people in and out pretty well. Like you can manage it. It can be done. It's just all your favorites aren't going to be on TV all the time. Like it's just not possible with 2 shows.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on. They ran a second women's match right afterwards with Serena Deeb taking on Katie Arquette. By the way, yes, it is a Katie Arquette who has interacted with David Arquette. So have fun with that. Very quick tap out, Serena Deeb. I like this. I think this is just all fodder for Deeb to get heat until they bring Sheeta back and have a grudge match.
Good. It's working.
Fine,
like build her up. It's good stuff.
And what's funny is that everything that I'm saying about like the women's division is so deep, you can bring people back, blah, blah, blah. This is what you do it for.
Yeah, exactly.
Ideally.
Like you have these people on roster. Deeb has shown that, I mean, she's a veteran. Like she's killing it. She's great on the mic. She's building this character pretty well. You just got to give her a little bit of time every week. Like I get like there's some criticism that it's like, it's a short segment, but it's like some of them have to be short segments, y'all. Like,
I mean, this is very like, it's a WWE, but it's also a little old school. Sheeta under a mask.
I like that. I think that'd be fun. I have no issue with that.
I think it would be a lot of fun too. We'll see what they do. And for people who are kind of applauding, like, oh, they did 2 women's matches this week. In fairness, like that Serena Deeb match was like a minute long. So.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's 2 women's segments, which is good. So
yes, I will take that. There were 4 women in the ring on Dynamite this past week, like wrestling in the ring. I'll take that. So we'll see where it goes. Main event in a match that no one was shocked as to who would win, but everyone was shocked as to how good it would be.
God, Lance Archer, like older in terms of wrestling years, just willing to kill himself.
Yes.
I loved the start of this. I loved it so much. Just the immediate like beat down on the ramp and then chucked through a plate of glass, pane of glass. My God.
Really, really fun, really bloody match. I even like Dan Lambert getting involved in this because he did the smart thing. He comes in, he undoes the turnbuckle because how do you hit a buckshot lariat? You go over the top rope. So what do? You take the top rope out of the equation, and next thing you know, how can Adam Page run? How can you do your move? And he finds a way at the end. But either way, I like that Lambert comes out, does it. It's a really fun match.
Fantastic, well timed. Lambert did his bit, and then all 3 men at the end with the referee spot too, just like very well timed into the tables. My God.
Yeah, and like Paul Turner just has his back down, the referee, and gets that buckshot lariat with the barbed wire around his wrist. When Lance Archer pulls out that barbed wire, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh, like, when he pulls out the chair with the barbed wire, I'm like, that barbed wire is just like taped to the chair. They're gonna use that thing. And they did, and they wrap it around, and they've done it before. Mox did it with the bulldog choke on Eddie Kingston in the title match, but this was a little different, and I appreciated it. I liked it. Jake going for a DDT, and then Lance Archer being like, you old bastard. Like, no, this is my match. It was good.
Like when it started, I think there was like 15 minutes left, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a sprint, and then they didn't even finish entrances, and I was like, oh God, okay. And then they just went.
Yeah, it was a good stuff. I need Hangman to have more spotlight feuds.
He needs to have an actual feud. Like these were just quick, like, okay, we're in between ones. Let's get because this was a tweener, right? Like he had his feud. Now we're moving into something, or his feud with Danielson. Now we're moving into something that's going to be, this was just a transition one. And we all understood that. That is Lance Archer's role. He is going to be perennial contender Lance Archer. And
then out comes Adam Cole, baby. Pulls up that giant title that it looks like it's half his size. People have been clowning on
the
Adam
memes
Cole
have been pretty.
There's one of like, I wish I had it. I put it up on screen. It's one of like Adam Cole with the title, but it's like the entirety of the screen and he's holding it. People are like, who did this Photoshop? And everyone's like, it's not a Photoshop. That's really how it looked.
I can't remember. I'm the same size. Like I would look the exact same. It's very funny.
People taking the New South champion, which was just like massive, and putting that over and being like, this is going to be Adam Cole when he wins that title. I love it. I think
It
it's
would
so
be me
silly.
too.
It's so fun.
It's funny. It's so funny.
So Adam Page and Adam Cole looking like what we're going to do next. We got 3 weeks till Revolution, so we got to tell that story. And there is backstory, but they got to get there talking about it with Bullet Club, with Ring of Honor, with nothing. It was New Japan, maybe a little bit. Either way, there is history. Let's tell that story.
Loser can't be Adam. There you go. Take away a name.
Hangman Page versus. Oh, well, everybody wins. He'll just become Cole #Bebe.
Just Cole. Bebe Cole.
Adam Cole, a baby. Anyway, let's move on to Rampage. Rampage was also very fun.
Very fun.
We also had Chris Jericho there to yell at us for an hour.
He sure did love to yell at us for an hour. Once again, my weekly refrain. I really don't love people being involved in narrative, also being on commentary. Very irritating through the entirety of the show for me.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Either way, we kick it off. It's Roppongi Vice, Trent Barretta, and Rocky Romero taking on the Young Bucks. Trent Barretta.
This was a thoroughly AEW match.
Yeah, it was PWG. It was a PWG match.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah.
A very, very fun sprinting tag team match. A lot of good shit in there. Just go back and watch it. We're not going to go beat for beat, but we will talk about the end when our noted knife pervert shows up. And what does he do?
He does the crossroads kind of. No, that other thing that is similar.
He takes out the guys.
Yeah, wait, both of them, right?
Yeah, he hits Orange Cassidy with Blade Runner. But then we're going to get Trent Barretta versus Jay White.
Which sounds good. I'm looking forward to that. Give me that.
Yeah, that's going to be good. Good Rampage match. That'll be Jay White's debut wrestling on TNT because that's where they do it. We're Canadian. It's all the internet for us.
Yeah.
Anyway, the American Dragonson Danielson, Bryanson Danielson gets interviewed by Tony Schiavone, and apparently he's all like, I'm not upset about Moxley and Punk teaming up. No. CM Punk just wanted a one-night stand, he said.
I'm here for the long term, baby.
Yeah. Very good stuff. Yeah. And then Seidel and Lee Moriarty show up and they interrupt him. And Danielson's like, no, I like you, Matt Seidel. I respect you. I just don't think you can go hardcore. I just don't think you can do. Yeah, I don't think you can be violent. And I'm like, oh, violence. Okay, what are we doing here? And then Lee Moriarty's like, hey, no, you talk to me. Don't talk to him. Like, you wanted me, you talk to me. And I like that Lee is like standing up for himself and being like, we're going to do this. And Danielson's like, we are going to do this. They're going to have a match on Wednesday. And again, it speaks to the depth of their roster that this is a match that people have been looking forward to. And they didn't think they were going to see it at least this quickly.
Well, here's the thing. Like, this is such a good setup for both Mox and Danielson because you can drag this the hell out. You don't need to resolve this for months and months and months. And in the meantime, because you can't elevate these guys to like the main title picture, you can put them in one-offs. Night after night, you can have CM Punk tags with John Moxley as a one-off, and it just be like, oh, this feels natural and it's good. Like, this is actually like a really well done narrative conceit to have them be kind of, it'll be the will they, won't they of this show, which seemingly every single American piece of programming requires. So
it's all soap opera. And again, going back to pulling things out and putting things back in, they do it in soap operas all the time. When you take out one storyline, you insert another. It's the same thing. It's an attraction match. That is exactly what it is.
And that's it. You can have Danielson just wrestling whoever the hell in terms of like in interest of scouting. Like, you can just have these dream matches without going through a big song and dance for it. It's really, really good. Like, this is such an elegant way of using these two guys without, just them winning all the matches, being big, strong men all the time. Like, I think it's really interesting.
If you want to be big and strong, you can donate a super chat because this is our 100th episode. Dr. Britt Baker, DM Dentist, takes on Robin Renegade. Robin Renegade is there to lick ass, as her sister said on the internet.
Oh my God. Is that... Oh, they are right next to each other. That's so dangerous.
And she had take it down because all of a sudden Punk was like,
hell with it. Yeah.
CM Punk retweet was like, I couldn't sell this match any other way. It's like, I couldn't sell it any better. TK was like, no, let's not do that. People were just going ham with it. And
tune in now for a tremendous ass licking.
Good stuff. Just great stuff. And the match was good too, because it gave Robin Renegade a chance to show out. And I hadn't seen her before. Apparently the Renegade sisters are currently under the tutelage of Thunder Rosa, which is really cool.
Yep.
And Britt Baker is continuing to have good matches, so I can't complain.
Let's let Thunder Rosa assemble her army. There you go.
There you go. Oh, I can clip this myself. I always try to find something stupid. That Aaliyah promo, that really went somewhere, let me tell you.
Taking names and licking ass. Love it. Right. Good stuff,
there
JJ.
Oh no. Yeah, so Britt Baker gets the win and then goes for the lockjaw after the match, but out comes Thunder Rosa because again they're all working together, the Renegade Sisters and Thunder Rosa, and then Jamie Hayter comes out to stomp out Thunder Rosa, but so does Mercedes Martinez, and I need Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Martinez in my brain and in my life right now.
Like I said, huge Jamie Hayter fan. Holy hell, I am.
Yes. Meanwhile, I'm a big Mercedes Martinez
fan. Good. It'll be the conflict of the century because we're going to be at odds.
That's fine with me. It's worth it because that's going to be a match that absolutely goes. I love that Martinez, the veteran, is going to take on Jamie Hayter, who is a young veteran. Like she's still very young, but man, she has a lot of matches under her belt. The two of them could put together something really good.
Good seller too. Holy hell.
Yeah. I'm going to enjoy that when we get there. Speaking of good sellers, we got Hook taking on Blake Lee.
I can't believe.
Why wasn't, first of all, why wasn't this QT Marshall under a mask? Why wasn't this?
We'll get there. Let it breathe.
And I'm fine with this. I think this is a perfect Revolution match, Hook versus QT. It'll be Hook's first pay-per-view match. It'll be Hook facing his own actual teacher, the guy who's been training him, and QT being the big boss of the factory. That works. And it'll be a good breather match between whatever other matches they put on that Revolution card. Anything to add about Blake Lee getting beat shit out of him?
No, just because screw that. It's all about Hook, baby. It's all about Hook. It's like it is. Yeah, it's insane how much of a fairy tale this is. I'm just waiting for because you take this gag, this thing that was just a gag, and you deliver on it, and you deliver on it consistently now for a little while. Like the next test is going to be that pay-per-view match, but he's been set up to succeed so well. They have taken care of him to make sure there are no missteps. Like his first pay-per-view match being against QT, in the bag, baby.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good potential there. I'm going to enjoy it. Chris Jericho's Hook's first loss.
I could see it.
No, Intercontinental Champion Matt Moss will be Hook's first loss.
Oh my God.
And then finally from Rampage, the AEW tag team titles, it is Jungle Boy Luchasaurus taking on the Ass Boys. Colton and Austin Ass. Colton Gunn, was it Colton? No, it was Austin wearing his Shawn Michaels 1993 attire.
Yeah.
That I'm sure Billy Gunn stole from Shawn Michaels on his way out of the WWE.
Almost certainly. I'm glad they thanked Danhausen with a job for getting the Ass Boys over more than any of them ever could.
By the way, so I don't know how many people watch the Dynamite pre-stream or the preview on YouTube. I caught it the other day while I was just working on some other stuff, and like the first half of it is Alex Abrahantes doing a bit with Danhausen, running down the card, Abrahantes, and he's facing the camera. He's just looking and talking to the camera, and Danhausen's behind him. And so he thinks it's Dasha Fuentes, Dasha Currit, doing the analyzing of the matches. And so he does the whole like, oh, what do you think of this match, Dasha? And it's Danhausen talking into the microphone, just like, and they're just deadpanning it the whole time for the first half of this stupid preview. And I'm like, why doesn't he just look around? Why doesn't he just get it? But it's so absurd that it's my humor, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, that sounds very funny.
Just go back to this week's episode, and like they're just standing out there on the boardwalk just talking. It's like, yes, this match will be very good. Okay, thank you for your insight. That was excellent. And then Dasha comes into the frame afterwards, and Dasha's just like, oh, I wasn't here for any of that. Very stupid. Anyway, anything to add on the actual tag title match between the Gun Club and
it was good.
Luchas?
It was what you expected it to be. Jungle Boy doing the unprettier. It's like, yeah, it's okay. That's fine.
Exactly. For anyone who's blaming me about a tweet about Aldis and Cardona, so I'm gonna go back to the AEW thing. I said last night on Twitter, what people didn't realize was that it was going to be Nick Aldis versus Cardona, because Nick Aldis came out after the match and challenged Cardona and said, I never got a rematch. And Cardona said, okay, we're doing it. So
Oh my God.
I didn't spoil anything. This happened twice last night where I did the Max Caster rap from, I'm not going to tell you about this. Max Caster had a rap at Warrior Wrestling and someone was like, oh, you called it. And I'm like, no, I transcribed the stupid rap. And this one was Aldis came out after the match and was just like, oh, I'm challenging you because I didn't get my rematch. And Cardona was like, sure, whatever, bro. I'm always ready with a Z.
Oh, God. Is that part of his gimmick?
Well, he is always ready with a Z, but that's
okay.
not anyway.
That's fine.
Was there anything from that tag match that you really liked that you want to point out? There's a good kick out right at the end with Jungle Boy. He's really getting it good.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's very good. It's a good match. Yeah, I don't recall a whole lot about it other than just the unprettier, the nods to daddies. Yes. So
I do like that he's using the unprettier right now. It's a good finish for Jungle Boy.
Yep.
When does he become a Jungle Man?
Never.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we got there.
he's like in Neverland, I guess. I don't know.
And again, I like the Gun Club. I
really do.
Them.
Like but
I want to see more.
See, now I'm into them because of the Ass Boys thing. It gives them so much comedic material to work with their dad's legacy in a way that I think they wouldn't have gotten to on their own, because I think they just weren't embracing that enough. And I think they just have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're dressed like him. They act like him. Like, if you're going to lean into it, like lean into it hard. And like in this case, like really flipping it on a head, just like Ass Boy, which is hilarious. Great.
I think we got through it.
I think we did. We got through all the wrestling, and we spent more than an hour, so I guess it wasn't all that bad.
Look at that. Episode 100. We actually did it. If you want to go find our old episodes, there's a playlist here on Fightful Overbooked with our old episodes included, or you can go to timandjoelpod.com. We'll probably repurpose that link soon enough. Either way, Tim, let's get out of here. Where can the people find you on the internet?
Oh, they can find me at Timstone P, TIMBSTONEP, Twitter, Instagram.
All right, then. It's Fightful Overbooked, FightfulOverbooked.com, or you can go to youtube.com/FightfulOverbooked. I am Joel Pearl at Joel Pearl, JOELPEARL. Ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, we'll see you next week, but there's new content every day on this channel, so what do you really want? There's tons of it. Go watch it. Go find it.
I edit too much of it.
Enjoy the Super Bowl. Who's gonna win? Tim, who's gonna win?